Okay, what is the clinical relevance for this? First of all, you measure various hormones. किसी किसी कंडीशन में आप हार्मोन्स मेजर करते हो, किन किन कंडीशंस में करते हो? पीसीओएस में करते हो? अगेन स्टॉप्ड, आगे नहीं जा रहा है, नहीं रुक गया. ओके, आगे. दिस हेल्प्स इन डायग्नोसिस. इफ यू नो हार्मोन वैल्यूज क्या क्या होने वाली है, किस किस कंडीशन, यू विल बी एबल टू डायग्नोज योर पेशेंट इन अ बेटर वे. And most of the drugs that actually act, they work on this principle, hormone levels. Yes. With primary amenorrhea with a small sized uterus, her ovaries are well seen, her FSH/LH is low. What do you suspect in this patient? People have
MRKH, नहीं FSH.
Hypothalamus is low.
MRKH is a condition where FSH/LH will be normal. Ovaries are absolutely normal in MRKH.
Okay, okay.
It's the gonadal primary.
Gonadal. This.
Streak ovaries will be premature ovarian failure. There you will have FSH/LH which will be to a raised level. You have FSH/LH low. This is the only cat sign I have. Low FSH/LH, यार बोलो ना.
Gonadal dysgenesis, hypogonadism.
Yes, you have hypogonadotropic hypogonadism in this patient. Typically, these patients will have amenorrhea. Because of amenorrhea, there will be basically because of low FSH and LH, they will be having no ovarian drive. Folliculogenesis नहीं होगा. Folliculogenesis नहीं होएगा तो क्या होएगा? Estrogen will not be there. Estrogen will not be there, so there will be uterus का कोई changes नहीं आएंगे for menstruation to occur. So this is a typical history that is given by a patient who is suffering from hypogonadotropic hypogonadism. The catch here is with the hormones, you can diagnose your FSH and LH levels will be lower side. Then another patient with a similar scenario, primary amenorrhea, small size uterus, ovaries are very poorly localized. FSH and LH, they are towards higher side. What is the diagnosis in this patient?
Gonadal failure.
Good.
Yes. This is a patient where the ovaries are landing into premature ovarian failure. So typically when the ovaries are resistant to your hormones, अब पिट्यूटरी ने क्या करना है, अपने हार्मोन्स को रिलीज करने हैं, ओवरी के ऊपर वो एक्ट करें कि ना करें. बट व्हेन द ओवेरियन फीडबैक इज लैगिंग, एस्ट्राडाइल इज नॉट देयर. व्हेन द एस्ट्राडाइल इज नॉट देयर, व्हाट विल हैपन? कोई नेगेटिव फीडबैक नहीं है, तो FSH and LH will automatically increase from the pituitary. So these are the patients who are with ovarian failure. Am I clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now, whenever you are planning stimulation for your patient, there are various steps for stimulating a patient to have her pregnant. First of all, you have to stimulate the follicular growth, and then you need that follicle to ovulate, and not in routine patients, but in patients who are undergoing IVF cycle. अब non-IVF cycles में आप जब ovulation induction दे रहे हो and your follicle is growing, it doesn't matter कि वो ovulate कर रहा है, आप तो actually ovulation कराना चाह रहे हो. But for those patients who are undergoing IVF, आपको ovulation prevent करना है. Why? Because अगर premature ovulation हो जाएगा, I'll not have any eggs to be retrieved. So that is why you have to prevent premature LH surge, especially in IVF cycles. अब ये जो तीन चीजें हैं, इनके ऊपर भी हमारी सारी ड्रग्स एक्ट करती हैं इन प्रिंसिपल्स को लेकर या हार्मोन के प्रिंसिपल्स को लेकर. दिस इज क्वाइट कम्बरसम स्लाइड, बट अगर हमें पता है तो क्लोमिफिन, हाउ डज क्लोमिफिन एक्ट? ओव्यूलेशन इंडक्शन कैसे करेगी? Clomiphene is an estrogen receptor blocker, so it blocks the estrogen receptors in hypothalamus and pituitary. अब जब estrogen receptor block हो गया है, तो it will take it कि estrogen body में नहीं है, it will release more of FSH. So that is why you have ovulation, or sorry, you have follicular growth with clomiphene. Letrozole acts on a similar principle. Letrozole acts, how does it act? It is an aromatase inhibitor. Aromatase is an enzyme which leads to conversion of एंड्रोजन टू एस्ट्राडायोल. अब जब एस्ट्राडायोल कम हो गया एंड्रोजन एरोमेटेज इनहिबिशन से, तो अगेन योर बॉडी परसीव्स इट एज अ कंडीशन जहां पे एस्ट्रोजन लेवल इज लो. That is why you have excess of release of FSH, which leads to again follicular growth. And when you are stimulating your ovaries with FSH, recombinant FSH or HMG, especially in IVF cycles, in these conditions, you are directly putting in gonadotropins into the body, which can act on the ovary further. Whenever you are stimulating a patient, you need to remember two things. One is आपका FSH concentration एक लेवल पे होना चाहिए जिसपे कि एक मिनिमल लेवल पे होना चाहिए जिसपे कि आपका follicular growth attain हो जाए. In case your FSH required for the follicle to grow is 20 and you are giving 10, the follicle will not grow. In case it is more than 20, only then your follicle will be growing. So there is a threshold concentration above which your follicle will be growing, and this threshold concentration has to be reached. जब हम कुछ ovulation induction agents दे रहे हैं या हम injectables दे रहे हैं, in that case we are actually going beyond this threshold concentration. अब अगर एक डोमिनेंट फॉलिकल में नेचुरल सिलेक्शन के लिए यू नीड समथिंग, सपोज 20 इज रिक्वायर्ड, है ना, और मैंने बाहर से बहुत ज्यादा दे दिया, तो योर थ्रेशोल्ड कंसंट्रेशन इज टुवर्ड्स हायर साइड, सो यू आर एबल टू मीट द डिमांड ऑफ मेनी फॉलिकल्स. कुछ फॉलिकल्स का हो सकता है कंसंट्रेशन 40 पे हो. दिस इज अ हाइपोथेटिकल थिंग आई एम टेलिंग. सपोज अ फॉलिकल ग्रोज एट अ 40 लेवल ऑफ FSH एंड यू आर गिविंग 20, तो सिर्फ 20 वाला जिसका लेवल चाहिए वो ग्रो होएगा. बट इन केस यू आर गिविंग 40, तो छोटे छोटे फॉलिकल्स जिनकी रिक्वायरमेंट या थ्रेशोल्ड 40 पे है, ऑल दोज विल आल्सो बी ग्रोइंग. सो दिस इज द थ्रेशोल्ड कॉन्सेप्ट. And then is the window concept. Window is the minimum time interval where you have to, for which you have to give this drug so as to have follicular growth. So threshold concentration is a concentration above which your follicles will be growing. Window is the time period for which you are giving the drug so as to attain follicular genesis. And when you are giving certain drugs, you are actually increasing the threshold, not increasing the threshold, you are actually passing beyond the threshold. You are giving much more drug than that is required for the threshold to reach, and you are actually increasing the window period to act. ये मैम ऑटोमेटिकली होता है. मतलब when you are giving clomiphene, आपका FSH नॉर्मल से ज्यादा रिलीज होएगा. नेचुरल साइकिल ने सिलेक्शन जो करना है, दैट इज फॉर द वन फॉलिकल टू ग्रो. वो एक फॉलिकल पे अगर रिक्वायरमेंट है, हमने तो बहुत ज्यादा फॉलिकल्स व्हिच आर एक्चुअली गोइंग टू बी एट्रिटिक, they will also start growing in that case. So all those follicles which are actually going to be atretic in the same cycle, there is a pool of follicles, cohort of follicles which grows on, and out of that natural selection takes place with the dominance of one follicle. और अगर natural selection को negate कर रहे हैं, उसमें हम exogenous कुछ ना कुछ दे रहे हैं, तो वो natural selection goes off, and then you are actually making those atretic follicles to grow with the help of hormones. Any questions? Confusions, so I'll clear again. Okay. Now I talked about premature LH surge. हमें पता है कि estrogen is the one which is actually leading to premature LH surge, that I said almost 200 picogram, and this has to be a sustained level for over 50 hours so as to have premature LH surge. अब IVF में premature LH surge आ जाएगी तो क्या होगा? We'll have no oocytes to be received. There will be premature rupture and the patient will not have any oocytes to work upon. So this is how the drugs act to prevent premature LH surge. What are the drugs that we give to prevent premature LH surge? थोड़ी चीजें मैंने IVF के बीच में ऐड की हैं. Basics are there. GnRH analogs are there, which are given. आपने सुना होगा when IVF is done, initially IVF used to be done with the long protocol. Analogs used to be given. Analogs are leupride like drugs, है ना? Leuprides जो हैं, they are analogs. Now when you are giving leupride, how does it act? Initial there is a flare, एकदम से FSH release कराएगा, and then long term जब leupride दे रहे हो, there is a suppression. So long term leupride will lead to suppression. That is why in certain protocols we start off the cycle from the 21st day of the last menstrual period. So this is a long protocol that is used. Short protocols are also there with the GnRH analogs, and you have the GnRH antagonists which are there, which are actually used widely nowadays. We are all dependent upon GnRH antagonists, which actually lead to suppression of FSH-LH. And then there is progesterone primed ovarian stimulation. I think GnRH analogs are antagonists. Antag protocol, analog protocol सुना है हम लोगों ने कभी?
Yes.
सुना है, बुक्स में है, बुक्स में इट वाज देयर, आई थिंक व्हेन वी वर स्टडीिंग आल्सो बुक्स में ये छोटे छोटे पैराग्राफ्स आते थे जीएनआरएच एनालॉग और जीएनआरएच एंटागोनिस्ट के. नाउ देयर इज अ न्यूअर कॉन्सेप्ट व्हिच इज प्रोजेस्टेरोन प्राइम्ड ओवेरियन स्टिमुलेशन. इसके बारे में डिस्कस क्यों कर रही हूँ, क्योंकि हमने हार्मोन्स के बारे में पढ़ा एंड प्रोजेस्टेरोन का भी एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रोल है. प्रोजेस्टेरोन एज आई सेड कि इट हैज अ नेगेटिव फीडबैक इफेक्ट ऑन योर हाइपोथैलेमस पिट्यूटरी. प्रोजेस्टेरोन के डिफरेंट एक्शंस होते हैं and one of the actions that progesterone has is anti-positive feedback on estrogen. This is what is happening normally. You have the GnRH, you have the FSH-LH, you have the estrogen. Estrogen has a positive feedback, तो LH surge आ गई. Now when there is no estrogen priming, पहले estrogen body में या आपके hypothalamus pituitary को estrogen का exposure अगर नहीं हुआ है, in that case you can actually use this progesterone to suppress ovulation. Abhi patient, this is I'm considering, or why I'm telling, because stimulation protocols are costly because of the injections. How you can reduce the cost? This is with the use of progesterone. नहीं समझ में आ रहा. Progesterone is actually having negative feedback effect. Fine. Estrogen ने क्या करना है? LH surge करना है. You are giving progesterone right from day 2 or 3 of your period. So this progesterone will have a suppressive effect on this estrogen action. It will not let LH surge to happen. So when you are giving progesterone in the body, it is at a concentration of 2 nanogram per ml. In that case, from second, third day, you start with the progesterone and you stimulate your patient and you keep on continuing with the progesterone throughout the cycle. And this will actually lead to no premature LH surge. Like जो काम हमने एंटागोनिस्ट के साथ किया था, जो काम हमने एनालॉग्स के साथ किया था, that काम is done by progesterone at a lower cost. You just need to give Devry 10 mg BD to your patient from day 2 and you can stimulate your patient without the premature LH surge. थोड़ा सा कुछ क्लियर हुआ? डॉक्टर निधि,
yes. हाँ
कुछ
जी,
क्लियर हुआ?
ये तो समझ आ गया, समझ तो आ गया, बट isn't it कि अगर हम ये इतना दे देंगे तो थोड़ा फॉलिकुलोजेनेसिस भी हमारा इनिबिट नहीं होगा, क्योंकि हम उधर से नेगेटिव फीडबैक दे रहे हैं और इधर से हम स्टिमुलेट कर रहे हैं.
Folliculogenesis पे ज्यादा impact नहीं है. The problem of giving progesterone is when you are giving progesterone, your endometrial lining will be out of phase, so you will not be able to
Yes.
take your patient for the fresh transfer.
Okay.
In that case, it will be a freeze all strategy for your patient कि आपने embryos बनाए, store कर दिए, and you are not able to transfer. You just need to prepare the endometrium and transfer it in the next cycle.
So we are doing this thing in every cycle for every patient. We will do IVF in next
No, we
cycle.
are not. Personally, I am not doing. Most of the people have been doing it in donors. I've been using it in some of my donors. It is only to decrease the cost. Because donors को fresh transfer नहीं करना है हमें. We only need to retrieve the oocyte. So these are the patients where this can be used.
Okay. That's yes.
What happens inside the ovary? अभी तक हमने जो डिस्कस किया that was all about hormones. Hormones में कुछ confusion हो? I just brief about it. The hypothalamus pituitary ovarian axis is the one which we need to learn. इसमें एक आ रहा है आपका estrogen का negative feedback. When estrogen is at a lower level, it has a negative feedback so as to have dominance of one follicle. And when estrogen is at a higher level, तो आपका LH surge आ जाता है because of the positive feedback effect. Progesterone also has a negative feedback effect, and progesterone also actually suppresses the ovulation that is triggered by estrogen. I think these were the 4 points that were of relevance. Now, what happens inside the ovary? Inside the ovary, there are 2 events going on. One is a meiotic event that takes place, and the other is a follicular development. Follicular development मतलब हम जो पढ़ते हैं primordial follicle and then primary follicle. If you look at this development, okay. से मेरे को स्टॉप करना है वो. Okay, the follicle will start as a primordial follicle, which is actually having an oocyte with the cells in the outer layer. Then it converts to primary follicle. These primary follicle will have the cuboidal cells, and these will start increasing in number. And there will be development of zona pellucida, which is the outer shell of the egg. अब इसमें धीरे धीरे there will be formation of some cystic spaces, and these fluid filled vesicles, they will coalesce together and they will give rise to antrum. और antrum जब enlarge हो जाता है, in that case this is what is gives rise to what we call as Graafian follicle. Meanwhile इसमें बहुत सारे और changes भी आते हैं. There is development of the theca interna, theca externa, and this is the mature follicle that we see. So lot many changes will take place inside the follicle. Till ovulation, there is release of the oocyte, and post oocyte release, all these granulosa theca cells will undergo luteinization, and this will lead to what is known as corpus luteum and further corpus albicans. इतना शायद हमें सबको पता है. सबको पता है ना? Nothing new in it. Now, just a minute, I am asking some people. This is how folliculogenesis takes place. Again, primordial follicles, primary follicles, secondary follicles, and these secondary follicles will have the growth of antrum, and these will then convert into antral follicles. Then antrum जैसे जैसे grow करेगी, folliculogenesis, granulosa cells, theca cells सब grow करेंगे. There will be presence of dominant follicle, and then you have the pre-ovulatory follicle जिसमें एक छोटा सा egg पड़ा है, and you have the sorry. You have granulosa cells surrounding. This is the cumulus oophorus, and you have the theca interna, theca externa, all those sorts of things. Why I am stressing on this diagram? आपका initial stage of folliculogenesis, right from the primordial follicles till it enters antral follicles, it is actually not sensitive to FSH. ये अपने आप से ओवरी के अंदर कुछ एंडोक्राइन पैराक्राइन फैक्टर्स हैं, उसके अंदर वो ग्रो कर रहा है. Only your antral follicles are the ones which are sensitive to FSH. इसके बाद FSH की sensitivity शुरू हो जाती है. And then your follicles are dependent upon FSH till ovulation. बार बार एक पॉइंट क्यों बोल रही हूँ, क्योंकि बहुत बार पेशेंट सॉरी नॉट फॉर पेशेंट्स, इवन डॉक्टर्स आस्क दिस क्वेश्चन कि मैंने उस पेशेंट को स्टिमुलेट किया, द पेशेंट हैज बीन स्टिमुलेटेड मल्टीपल टाइम्स, सो इज इट गोइंग टू रिड्यूस हर फॉलिकल्स? व्हाट इज योर आंसर?
Yes.
Answers from the audience who have joined. Repeated stimulations to the ovary, they are going to reduce the follicle count. Who all say yes? Who all say no? Yes, कौन बोल रहा है? Okay, again I'll come back to this diagram. The primordial follicle pool till primary stage is not dependent upon FSH. So अगर आप primordial follicle pool देखो, आपके FSH के ऊपर डिपेंडेंट ही नहीं है, तो आप इसको वैसे ही रिक्रूट नहीं कर पाओगे. You are not able to recruit them anyways. You are going to recruit only those follicles which have entered the pre-antral or early antral stage. तो आपकी रिक्रूटमेंट को यहाँ से शुरू. You are not able to recruit primordial follicles, so you are not going to deplete your primordial follicle pool when you are stimulating your patient. आप सिर्फ एक कोहोर्ट जो बिल्डअप होने वाला था, वो बिल्डअप होने के बाद एक डोमिनेंस पे आने वाला था, बाकी सारे एट्रिटिक होने वाले थे. You are actually stimulating all those follicles which were destined to be atritic. Am I clear?
Yes.
Yes.
So when we are stimulating your patient, आप stimulation जब दे रहे हो, FSH dependent वाले follicles उससे stimulate होंगे, non-dependent ones which are the primordial pool, primary follicles, they are not going to be stimulated. So don't worry, you are not going to deplete the ovarian reserve of your patient in case you are stimulating your patient. Primordial pool is going to be the one जिसने आगे पहुंचा दिया follicles को, वो cohort ही आगे बढ़ेगा आपका. Primordial pool से आप खींच के कुछ नहीं लेके आ पाओगे, है ना? I'll look at this diagram again, I think. Okay, I'll go back to the last diagram. This is, so this initial stage, which is insensitive to FSH, it is actually a very long process. It may take around 1 year for the follicle to enter into an antral follicle. It is only the last 14 days or 20 days of the follicle which are actually FSH dependent. तो उससे पहले का कुछ भी डिपेंडेंसी नहीं है, उससे पहले आपका बॉडी या ओवरी खुद ही कर रही है जो कर रही है.
डॉक्टर पूजा,
हाँ जी, हाँ जी.
so the scan we do on day 2 to see the
Yes.
antral follicle, so those follicle are all the antral follicle, or are we able to see this primordial follicle also?
This is what is the next thing I am going to talk about. So when we scan, what do we see on ultrasound? Just look at this chart. If you see the stage of the follicle and the follicular size, the primordial follicles will be 0.03 to 0.04 centimeters. And you are able to see ultrasound के ऊपर the follicles which are more than 2 millimeter. और ये more than 2 millimeter का stage आपका कब आ रहा है? Early antral follicle के ऊपर. So we are not able to see any of the follicles which are in the primordial, primary or secondary phase. It is only the early antral follicles that we see which have attained the size of at least 2 millimeter. तो हम अल्ट्रासाउंड पे सिर्फ और सिर्फ अर्ली एंट्रल फॉलिकल्स देख रहे हैं. तो एंट्रल फॉलिकल काउंट इज इंपॉर्टेंट. व्हाई इट इज इंपॉर्टेंट एंट्रल फॉलिकल काउंट? सॉरी, somebody said something. Antral follicle count क्यों important?
For ovarian
That
reserve.
is the ovarian reserve basically. So
For
how
which
much
side?
like ovarian reserve?
Yes, for ovarian reserve, it is important. Antral follicle count is one of the best markers which can actually tell us about the ovarian reserve. If you look at these two ovaries, can you see the striking difference?
Yes.
The upper ovary and the lower ovary. Are you able to make out what is the difference between the two?
Upper one has lot of antral follicle and lower one has no antral follicle.
Yes. So lower one तो बिल्कुल फुस वाली ओवरी है जिसमें शायद स्टिमुलेट भी हम करेंगे कुछ नहीं मिलेगा हमें. एंट्रल फॉलिकल काउंट इज नॉट देयर. अपर ओवरी इज अ वेरी गुड ओवरी, पीसीओ टाइप. इसमें आप स्टिमुलेशन दोगे. नेचुरल ओव्यूलेशन इंडक्शन में प्रॉब्लम आती है पीसीओ में, बट फॉर आईवीएफ पेशेंट्स इट इज अ वेरी गुड ओवरी बिकॉज इट यील्ड्स अ लार्ज नंबर ऑफ एग्स. सो यस, so as far as your ovarian reserve is concerned, antral follicle count is one marker. Antral follicles में हमें कौन से follicle दिखेंगे? Only
Pre-antral.
more than 2 millimeters. उससे छोटे वाले will not be able to detect. One policy with antral follicle count sometimes is there. हम count करते हैं 2 से 10 mm के follicles. And out of these follicles, certain follicles would have been in the phase of जिसमें कि atresia होने वाला है. तो we are counting actually all those. तो कभी कभार क्या होता है कि आप एक्सपेक्ट करते हो पेशेंट से कि बहुत अच्छा रिस्पांस आने वाला है. यू एक्चुअली गिव गुड स्टिमुलेशन टू योर पेशेंट. यू एक्सपेक्ट कि इसमें रिस्पांस आ जाए, बट समटाइम्स पेशेंट्स डू नॉट रिस्पॉन्ड. क्यों? क्योंकि उसमें एएफसी जो आप काउंट कर रहे हो, हाँ, तो एएफसी काउंट करते हो सकता है एक्ट्रिटिक फॉलिकल्स हम देख रहे हैं, जिस कारण से दोज एक्ट्रिटिक फॉलिकल्स आर नॉट गोइंग टू रिस्पॉन्ड. सो योर फॉलिकल आउटपुट रेशियो इज गोइंग टू बी लोअर इन सच पेशेंट्स. But practically, it is the antral follicle count which we are dependent upon. Another main important thing when we are talking about, we have talked about the ovarian reserve. So when we are talking about ovarian reserve, तो एक छोटा सा हार्मोन और मैं डिस्कस करूंगी बिल्कुल एक लाइन में. This is which hormone?
AMH.
Yes. Again stopped. AMH is a hormone which is important one as far as ovarian reserve is concerned, and this AMH is secreted by pre-antral and small antral follicles. And important point for AMH to remember is it has a negative effect on the initial recruitment. It actually inhibits the initial recruitment of the primordial follicles. तो पीसीओ पेशेंट में जितना सिवियर है, जितना ज्यादा AMH है, उतनी डिफिकल्टी आपको आती है फॉर रिक्रूटमेंट, उतना डिफिकल्ट उस पेशेंट को स्टिमुलेट करना हो जाता है, बिकॉज AMH हैज अ नेगेटिव इंपैक्ट ऑन इनिशियल रिक्रूटमेंट. एक बार वो इनिशियल रिक्रूटमेंट हो जाए तो आपका फॉलिकल फट से ग्रो कर जाता है. So higher the AMH level, more difficult it is for the PCO patient to be stimulated. Now this AFC and AMH has a very direct correlation. हमने दो ovaries देखी थी पहले. One was with the Fuss ovary, जिसमें कि हमें count नहीं नजर आ रहा था. It will definitely have a lower AMH, and this is a patient who is going to land in poor response. The other one is a good ovary where you expect a high AMH, and this patient is going to be a good responder. So yes, this is the one. But is it that primordial follicle pool is 1:1 for the antral follicle count?
No.
No, it is not like that. Primordial follicle pool का कुछ percentage आपका antral follicle count को determine करता है. It is not 1:1 ratio, but whatever it is in direct correlation with the antral follicle count. Now, हमने antral follicles देख लिए day 2, day 3 पे. Then more important, when you are stimulating your ovary, तो आपको follicular study भी patient का करना है. You have to see the follicle. The follicles will be you start seeing. I think all those who are scanning their patients, आपको पता चलता होगा कि एक follicle 10 millimeter से ऊपर आता है तो dominant होना शुरू हो जाता है. And once this dominance is achieved, it will keep on growing. And the growth rate is actually almost to the tune of 1 to 2 millimeters per day. So once your follicle attains a size, why I am telling this figure 1 to 2 millimeter per day का figure क्यों बता रही हूँ मैं? क्योंकि patients बहुत बार आते हैं and they will say alternate day ultrasound करना पड़ेगा. In case I am not having a dominant follicle, suppose मेरे पास 8-9 mm के follicles हैं और day 9 और 10, I will not call my patient alternate day. This is important क्योंकि patient की हम एक daily wager का कुछ ना कुछ हम loss कराते हैं when we are calling the patient back. So for your follicular scans, practically speaking, you learn this figure. अगर dominance पे नहीं है तो उसको 4-5 दिन के बाद आराम से बुला लो. In case of follicle is at dominance, तो 1 to 2 mm per day, suppose 11 mm का follicle है, so I'll call her back after 3-4 days. So I just call back till the time her follicle will be around 17, 18, 19 mm. So you just calculate. मेरी कैलेंडर पे साथ साथ चल रहा होता है 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then I call my patient back कि इस दिन पे मेरे पास वापस आ जाएगा. My follicular scans are hardly day 2, and then it will be a first visit for seeing the follicular growth, and then the third visit almost I get a mature follicle in case she is not a PCO, is not responding. So for a routine patient, you can follow this principle. So this is a maturing follicle. This is a large follicle, Graafian follicle, size जिसमें attain आपका हो गया है. And then when the follicles are prior to rupture, you can actually see this small cystic structure, which is actually the cumulus oophorus. And post rupture, this is the scarred area that we see. This is the corpus luteum. So all these stages we can track with our ultrasound. Now, when we are looking at a follicle, is this just a fluid filled cyst or something else? क्या हो रहा है इसके अंदर? हमने granulosa cells के बारे में डिस्कस किया, हमने follicle के बारे में डिस्कस किया, बट इसके अंदर एक्चुअल में क्या हो रहा है? Events are taking place inside it, and it is actually a very, I would say, dynamic organ. Endocrinologically बहुत सारी चीजें इसके अंदर हो रही हैं. You have, this is a diagram of the Graafian follicle where you have in the center this small egg. Then you have the zona pellucida, which is the outer layer of the egg. जैसे eggs का shell होता है, this is just like a shell of a human egg. And then you have the granulosa cells which are surrounding this. This is corona radiata. The cells which are actually attaching it to the base, they are cumulus oophorus. Then there is a lamina basalis, this outer layer of granulosa cells. अब इस outer layer के बाहर आपकी कुछ चीजें शुरू हो जाती हैं which are in the form of theca. You have the theca externa, you have theca interna. This whole is a highly, I would say, dynamic structure. Hormones बहुत सारे produce होते हैं. more important is estrogen and progesterone and their receptors, and there are receptors on the granulosa cells and theca cells which actually respond to rising FSH and LH levels. So इस time पे there is I would just like to discuss in word about the 2-cell 2-gonadotropin theory. Anybody who knows about it? PGs को तो पता है क्या होता है इसमें? Yes. What happens afterwards? Okay, I'll tell in brief. Your granulosa cells have receptors for FSH. Your theca cells have receptors for LH. अब जब LH act कर रहा है, it is acting on cholesterol to convert cholesterol to androstenedione or androgens. Just remember cholesterol to androgens. These androgens will diffuse into the granulosa cells, and here you have granulosa cells में आपके aromatase है. This aromatase is not present in your theca cells. So this process is the one which is only taking place inside the granulosa cells. This aromatase will convert your testosterone or androstenedione into estrone or estradiol. So this is 2-cell 2-gonadotropin theory. Theca cell में सिर्फ और सिर्फ LH का action आ रहा है, which is leading to conversion of cholesterol to androgens. Granulosa cells में aromatase के कारण से और androgens are being converted to estradiol. तो इसमें से अगर कुछ भी एक हम knock out कर देंगे, whole of the process will not take place. Why this is important? In case आपके सिर्फ FSH है and you have a knocked off person who is not having the theca cell with the LH receptors, तो FSH act करेगा but estradiol production नहीं हो पाएगा. FSH का आपका मेन रोल क्या है? It is actually leading to growth of granulosa cells. तो आपका फॉलिकल तो बन जाएगा, granulosa cells will grow, but जो estrogen production है that will not take place in case theca cells are not there. Am I clear? So both of these are actually required. And sometimes there is requirement of in IVF or in stimulation. Certain patients will be stimulated only by FSH because body में इतना LH थोड़ा बहुत होता है कि it will actually lead to folliculogenesis and good growth of follicles. But in certain patients, there will be requirement of LH. When you are stimulating a patient, it is said that only 1% of LH receptors need to be occupied. और LH body में बहुत बार इतना होता है कि folliculogenesis और follicular growth with proper estradiol production can take place. But in certain patients, this may be deficient. In that case, जब आप stimulate कर रहे हो तो सिर्फ FSH से आपका काम हो सकता है, ना चले, उसमें आपको LH supplementation देना पड़े. Now, how does this folliculogenesis happen? अभी तक हम क्या सोचते थे, folliculogenesis कैसे होती है? हर महीने एक एग बनता है, हर महीने एक एग फूट जाता है, उसके बाद प्रेगनेंसी हो सकती है, प्रेगनेंसी नहीं हो सकती है. दिस इज व्हाट वी थिंक. सो वी थिंक दैट देयर इज अ वन कोहोर्ट ऑफ फॉलिकल्स व्हिच एक्चुअली ग्रोज. एक महीने में एक फॉलिकल कोहोर्ट ग्रो करेगा और उसके बाद वो रिग्रेस हो जाएगा. राइट? अभी तक यही नोशन था. एवरीबॉडी थिंक्स लाइक दिस. But this is not true, and it has been seen that folliculogenesis actually is a process where you have different waves coming in. Different waves मतलब एक menstrual cycle में हो सकता है 2 waves हो. 2 cohorts of follicles might be growing. एक cohort आपका initial stage पे grow किया, दूसरा cohort फिर से grow करना शुरू हो गया. And in almost 68% of females, almost 2 follicular waves are seen. और there are certain females जिसमें कि 3 cohorts grow करेंगे इकट्ठे. When 3 cohorts are growing, तो बार बार फॉलिकल क्यों नहीं बन रहा, डोमिनेंस पे क्यों नहीं पहुंच रहा, और बार बार वो रप्चर क्यों नहीं हो रहा, 3 बार रप्चर क्यों नहीं हो रहा एक महीने में? Yes, because there is lack of hormones which are actually supporting all these things. Although waves are coming, 2 waves आई, 3 waves आई, जिसमें cohorts आपके stimulate हुए, but वो cohorts dominance तक या रप्चर तक नहीं पहुंचे.
क्लास चल रही है.
प्लीज 2 मिनट.
नहीं मेरी क्लास चल
2
रही है.
मिनट होल्ड पे रख लो प्लीज. रिकॉर्डिंग कर लेना. अरे होल्ड पे कर लो बेटा प्लीज.
शिबू मैं नहीं.
रिकॉर्डिंग चल रही है, किसी को बच्चे को अटेंड करना है तो प्लीज. So yes, this is the first follicular wave that we see. This is in the luteal phase, and another follicular wave that is there. Follicular phase में rupture तक पहुंच गया. Sometimes you have the 3 waves. This is the first wave, then you have the second wave, then you have the third wave. इसमें से एक ही wave आपकी पहुंच पाती है actually till rupture or ovulation. Why? Because hormones are not there. इतने balance में hormones नहीं चल रहे कि वो 3 waves को support कर पाए. But why I am stressing on this? What is the practical importance for this? Because this follicular wave theory has led to newer concepts in stimulation. What newer concepts? हम जब भी stimulation start करते हैं तो what is the notion for us? कि patient day 2, 3 पे आएगा तो हम stimulation करेंगे. अगर वो patient आ रहा है 9th day पे, can we stimulate that patient? Yes. Nowadays it is possible. Possible तो शायद पहले भी था, हमें पता नहीं था. Nowadays it is possible with the novel stimulation protocols. When your patient is coming in the mid or late follicular phase, day 9, 10 पे आ गया patient. In that case also you can stimulate your patient. There are late luteal phase start. Late luteal phase में आप patient को stimulate कर सकते हो. And then there are dual stimulations for poor responders जिसमें आप एक patient को for oocyte retrieval you can stimulate twice in a single month. The 28 days के cycle में आप 2 बार stimulation करके 2 बार oocyte retrieve कर सकते हो. So these are the newer protocols that are there. अब ये what is the importance of mid-late follicular phase or luteal phase start stimulation? This is important as far as fertility preservation is concerned. Suppose a cancer patient comes to you and she is suffering from cancer and she has to undergo chemotherapy. और डॉक्टर ने बोला है कि आपकी 15 दिन में कीमोथेरेपी मेरे को स्टार्ट करनी है. And she wants her oocytes to be preserved. और अगर मैं उसको वेट कराऊंगी कि नेक्स्ट मंथ हम वेट करेंगे तो हो सकता है कि विल मिस आउट द चांस. शी विल नॉट विल आई विल डेफिनेटली नॉट लेट हर वेट फॉर द कीमोथेरेपी सो एज टू प्रिजर्व हर एग्स. So in these patients, when they are landing to you, you can actually start their stimulation randomly depending upon which stage of cycle she lands to you. So this is the practical importance for this. Now what happens to the oocyte inside? This is clarified. Follicular wave theory.
Yes.
Hello. Okay. So what happens to the oocyte inside? Again, coming to the physiology, what happens to the oocyte inside? जैसे जैसे आपका follicle बढ़ रहा है वैसे वैसे आपका oocyte भी है which has to develop. But oocytes को क्या होता है? Oocytes will be starting their life as oogonium, which is a diploid cell. It will then enter primary oocyte stage, but primary oocyte में पहुंच के क्या? It gets arrested in prophase 1. Prophase 1 में arrest होके it will continue its prophase 1 stage till there is puberty. Puberty में जब LH हार्मोन आएगा, LH जब रिलीज होएगा और आपका उस टाइम पे because of the release of LH there will be ovulation. And then during ovulation आपका जो अटका हुआ था oocyte, आपका primary oocyte will be converted to secondary oocyte with the LH surge, and this will complete meiosis 1. The secondary oocyte is a haploid cell. We all know that all the germ cells will have to undergo meiosis. Meiosis के बहुत सारे stages हैं. इसमें कुछ याद करने वाली बात नहीं है. It's only that all the oocytes who are actually destined to undergo the meiosis, they will be in the prophase 1 arrest. Puberty आने के बाद they will again develop into the secondary oocyte. Sub secondary oocyte is the one where you have the haploid cell number, but इसमें सिर्फ एक division हुई है. आपकी meiosis 1 complete हुई उसके बाद. And with the meiosis 1 to be completed, you will have first polar body excluded. And secondary oocyte will again, this is the stage which is actually released out of the ovary during ovulation. Secondary oocyte आपका release हुआ post ovulation. And if in case this is fertilized, then it will complete the meiosis 2. So only after it is penetrated by a sperm, it will complete its meiosis 2 process. अब why it is important? ये मोटा मोटा क्यों दिखा रही हूँ मैं आपको? It is important. एक हमारा germinal vesicle stage होता है which is in the prophase arrest. The second is when your germinal, this is a small germinal vesicle inside the oocyte. When this germinal vesicle breaks down, this is the M1 stage, and then you have the secondary oocyte which is the M2 phase. In IVF, when you are retrieving the oocytes, you actually carry out the pickup. Pickup मतलब eggs को निकालना. You carry out, you take out all the follicular fluid. From the follicular fluid, you actually search out these. This is the oocyte cumulus complex. This is a small oocyte with the cumulus cells around. This is under higher magnification. This is how the oocyte cumulus complex look like. These are the radiating cells, corona radiata. जितना mature है उतना ये आपको थोड़े फैले फैले नजर आते हैं cells, granulosa cells. And when you are doing ICSI for your patient, it becomes important for us to know the stage at which we are, the stage of the eggs we are receiving. The germinal vesicles are the ones which are arrested in prophase 1. So these are not at all used. This cannot be used for ICSI. Then you have certain immature cells which are arrested in M1. So these also will not be used because ये क्या है, diploid cells हैं. इसमें you cannot inject the sperm. The ones who have actually completed their meiosis 1, the secondary oocytes are the ones where you can actually put a needle inside for sperm to be injected with. This is the egg. This is a small polar body that we see. This is the M2 stage, metaphase 2 stage that is required for ICSI to be performed. So germinal vesicle M1s not to be done for ICSI. M2s may we do ICSI in case we have M2s for our patient. We look for M2s for our patient for ICSI to be performed. And this M2 will have a typical polar body extruded because it has already undergone meiosis 1. And once it is penetrated by the sperm, it will further lead to completion of the meiosis 2. Now a word about the uterine cycle. Yeah, I think it's quite simple. बहुत ज़्यादा मैंने डिटेल में नहीं किया इसको. The uterine cycle, it will be the menstrual phase, जिसमें कि there is thinning of the endometrium, there will be shedding of the endometrium. With the ultrasound, you correlate this menstrual phase with the very thin endometrial lining. Then you have the proliferative phase, which is under the effect of rising estrogen level. Proliferative phase में आपके glands थोड़े थोड़े grow करेंगे, आपकी vascularity increase होएगी. And during the proliferative phase, you can see this beautiful trilaminar pattern of the endometrium. पूरे का पूरा trilaminar pattern you are able to see when your patient is in proliferative phase. And then post ovulation, there will be more of progesterone, which will lead to conversion of this endometrium into secretory phase. And during the secretory phase, there will be hyperechoic thick endometrium that you can see on your ultrasound. So this was all I wanted to tell about the phases of the menstrual cycle. Sometimes the patient is confused. Patient शायद कम confused होते हैं, but when we are screening the donors, this is a practical problem we face. When we are screening the donors will come to us and they will say period का second day है, and we say period का second day नहीं है, because you come to know from the endometrium and from the follicular growth that it is not the second day. So this is all. Just a small slide about what happens post fertilization. We know egg is released. In case fertilization happens, it happens inside the fallopian tube, and post fertilization, the oocyte will complete its meiosis 2 and a zygote will be formed. The zygote will ultimately divide. Divisions will take place and it will reach the morula stage, which is a ball-like stage, 16-cell stage. And this morula actually enters into the endometrial cavity. From morula, it will get converted into a blastocyst stage. This is a day 5 embryo. Why I am telling this? Because when we are doing intracytoplasmic sperm injection, this is the needle, this is the sperm, and this is the egg. And we are injecting sperm inside the egg. Post ICSI, we look at fertilization, whether the fertilization has taken place or not. This is how we go for FERT check in our IVF lab. When you see 2 pronuclei here, is it visible? I'm not sure. You see 2 pronuclei here, it means fertilization has taken place. And then on day 2, there will be division of cells. This will be a 2 or 4 cell stage. On day 3, you will have a 6 to 8 cell stage, or on day 5, you have a blastocyst. These are the stages where we transfer the embryos. Either day 3 is rare nowadays. Most of the times it is day 5 that is transferred. So this is a blast stage that we transfer. I think that was all. कुछ समझ में आया सबको?
Yes.
Any questions from the audience? फिजियोलॉजी बहुत बार नहीं समझ में आती है. मैं भी अब जब पढ़ रही तो मेरे को नई नई चीजें समझ में आ रही थी. आई थिंक अगर उसको और इलेबोरेटली पढ़ूंगी तो और चीजें समझ में आएंगी. But this is what I could gather. This is what I could correlate with what we are doing in our patients. Any questions?
It is all clear, Dr. Pooja. It was quite clear, the basics. और जितना practical चाहिए basically मुझे लगता है. I think
Any
we will
questions
read
from-
and then can ask you again.
Sorry. Any questions from participants? Any confusions? Any doubts? So I think this is all we had for today. We'll continue with our sessions and alternate Sundays. Dr. Harsh wants to talk.
Hello, madam.
Can we all have screen video open for everyone? एक दूसरे के दर्शन कर लें. स्क्रीन बंद की. Okay. Can we all have videos of everyone so that we can see each other? Please. या सिर्फ फोन ऑन करके चले गए सारे? ऐसा होता है ऑनलाइन, आधे घंटे से ज़्यादा रुका नहीं जाता. बट स्टिल आई वुड सजेस्ट अगली बार हम फिजिकली मिलें, बिकॉज फिजिकली में ज़्यादा अच्छे से हो पाता है. कई बार हम ऑनलाइन करने के चक्कर में शायद उतना इंटरेक्शन नहीं कर पाते. बट वी विल कंटिन्यू विद ऑनलाइन आल्सो, बट वी विल ट्राई कि फिजिकली हम ज़्यादा करें, ज़्यादा लोग यहाँ पे हों. 4 लोग इस बार आए. जो भी आप लोगों की सजेशंस हैं प्लीज़ ग्रुप में ज़रूर डाल दीजिएगा, हम उसके हिसाब से आगे चलेंगे. हेलो डॉक्टर अनुपमा, आपका म्यूट है.
या हेलो सर.
मैम अगली बार हम कोशिश करेंगे अगर आप लोग टाइम स्पेयर कर पाए तो फिजिकली ज़्यादा इंटरेक्शन हो सकता है. आई एम श्योर आप सबको, मतलब मेरे से तो ज़्यादा आता ही आता है, पूजा के बराबर भी आता ही होगा मोस्ट प्रोबेबली. बट जस्ट थिंग्स आर, उनको स्ट्रीमलाइन करने वाली बात है कि किस तरीके से करना है. और हमारा इस मॉड्यूल का पर्पस ये है कि एटलीस्ट लेवल 1 यू ऑल शुड बी डूइंग, और जो लेवल 2 में इंटरेस्टेड है वी आर ऑलवेज देयर टू हेल्प इट. आगे चल के हम प्लान कर रहे हैं कुछ यूनिवर्सिटीज़ के साथ मिलके फेलोशिप प्रोग्राम बनाने की. जो लोग करना चाहते हैं वी विल बी देयर. आपकी सजेशन ज़रूर चाहिए. ये हमारा फर्स्ट ट्राई था. आई एम श्योर हमने बहुत सारी गलतियां की होंगी, बट स्टिल वी विल लर्न फ्रॉम योर फीडबैक. थैंक यू वेरी मच. कोई अभी फीडबैक देना चाहता है तो मोस्ट वेलकम.
Sir, any reading material will you provide?
मैम जो प्रेजेंटेशन है इसी का हम पीडीएफ बना के आपको दे देंगे, जिससे कि आप कोरिलेट कर पाओ जब भी पढ़ लेना.
ठीक है.
रीडिंग मटेरियल जहाँ से इन्होंने रेफरेंस लिया है वो क्रॉस रेफरेंस एक मतलब बना के वो दे देंगे.
Any book
वी
जो
ट्राई
डॉक्टर
कि आप
पूजा
ये सब
रिकमेंड
करो.
करना चाहें कि कोई स्मॉल हैंडबुक टाइप, अगर डॉक्टर पूजा रिकमेंड करते हैं तो वी कैन गेट दैट आल्सो, वी कैन रीड फ्रॉम दैट.
मैम वी विल सेंड द पीडीएफ इन द ग्रुप ओनली. इसकी रिकॉर्डिंग जो है वो भी
Okay.
भेज देंगे. जहाँ से इन्होंने पढ़ा है उसका पीडीएफ बना के वो भी भेज देंगे. जो पढ़ना चाहता है यहाँ पे आके हमारे साथ करना चाहता है, दे आर मोस्ट वेलकम. वी विश कि हम 2-3 महीने बाद इनफर्टिलिटी को, मतलब इट्स नॉट ए बिग टॉपिक. हाँ जो प्रैक्टिकल काम है वो सीखने में टाइम लगता है, बट द थ्योरेटिकल पार्ट यू ऑल कैन लर्न विद इन 3 months. आई एम श्योर जो करना चाहता है. एंड प्रैक्टिकली जो सीखना चाहता है वी आर प्लानिंग सम अदर कोर्सेज आल्सो विद सम यूनिवर्सिटी टाई अप्स आल्सो. वी विल कम फॉरवर्ड. अभी मुझे कुछ नहीं पता, बट वी आर जस्ट ट्राइंग एंड दैट ऑल डिपेंड्स अपॉन क्या फीडबैक हमें मिलता है, कैसे आप लोग हेल्प करते हो. थैंक यू मैम. थैंक यू एवरीवन.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Share the Dr. Nidhi, I'll share the reference articles which I have taken from, और
Okay,
कुछ
okay.
पार्ट इज फ्रॉम स्पिरोफ ऑल्सो. बाकी
Okay.
कुछ आर्टिकल्स हैं जो रिसेंट वाले हैं, जैसे ये फॉलिकुलर वेव थ्योरी है, इसमें बहुत अच्छा एक आर्टिकल रिसेंट 2020 का है. शेयर इन ग्रुप. तो जो मेरे पास है शेयर इन ग्रुप इटसेल्फ.
Okay. Thank you.
एनी मोर क्वेरीज? थैंक यू फॉर ज्वाइनिंग फॉर टुडे. लंबा खिंच गया थोड़ा सा, कोई बात नहीं, अगली बार छोटा रखूंगी. बाय बाय.
Bye, ma'am. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
थैंक यू.
सबको नहीं